Hi, this is Coach Ledbetter. I'm doing a video on the special products. I have two examples here. I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit for you so you can see the little two problems here. I want you to notice what's different about the two problems. The two problems here, if you look at them, they're exactly the same except for one thing. You have a minus and a plus here and two pluses here. So I'm going to work these like there's two ways you can do it. You can do the box method or the distributive method. I'm going to do the double distributive method so you can kind of see it. Just because I prefer it that way. And then once I get through, let's talk about it. All right, so x times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. All right, and now we go to the other one, negative 4. Negative 4 times x is a negative 4x. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. We always combine the guys in the middle. So if you have 4 x's and you take 4 x's away, you're going to end up with 0 x's. So we have x squared plus 0 x's minus 16. All right, so let's go ahead and do the other one. X times x is x squared. X times 4 is 4x. This 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 4 is 16. We always combine the guys in the middle. So this becomes x squared, and plus 4 is plus 8. You get 8 x's. Okay, so now look at these two. This is your A value, this is your B value, and this is your C value. When we say value, we're talking about the actual numbers. So the number in front of x squared is 1. So it's A is 1, B is 0, C is negative 16. Same thing here. A here will be 1 because there's 1 in front of it. B will be 8, and C will be 16. Okay, so if you look at these two, all right, if you notice the middle term here, B, when you have the exact same thing, but one's a minus and one's a plus, the middle terms cancel out. So really all you need is the x squared minus 16, right? So you really could, if you know this, I mean, the key thing is knowing this. If you know this, that when they're the exact same binomial and you're multiplying, except one's a minus, one's a plus, when they're opposite, they're difference, okay? Then you can just take the first term and the last term and get your answer. So x times x is x squared. Negative 4 times 4 is negative 16. All right. But when the things are exactly the same, so look, see they're exact same with the same term. So these could be both positive or both negative. It doesn't matter. When you have this, you're going to have a middle term. Now remember, they have to be the exact same thing. They're both x4, x4. If they were different numbers, then you are going to have a middle term. Okay. But you got to kind of think about it when they're exactly the same and they're different signs, minus plus, no middle term. But if they do have the same sign, both positive or both negative, you're going to have a middle term. All right, so this right here would be my answer. So let's try some of these without having to do the box method or the double elimination method. So these are problems from a worksheet that I assign in class. This is number 3. All right, so look, they're the exact same. One's a minus, one's a plus. So that means there's no middle term. They cancel each other out just like this. So we just take the first guys, 4 times 4. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. There's one x here, another x here. You're multiplying, so you add the exponents. Remember, this is a 1 and this is a 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2, so it's x squared. Negative 5 times 5 is a negative 25. There's my answer because I don't have a middle term because they're exactly the same. Okay, so let's try number 5. Okay, look, the exact same thing. They're both h's and 7s. So I'm just going to multiply the two h's together. So that's h squared. Multiply the two numbers together. That's 49, and it's going to be always a subtract 49. Okay, now we're going to do something a little bit different. All right, so we're going to take where we have this binomial, and we're going to try to find the factors. All right, so here we go. And it's really the opposite way of thinking. All right, so the first thing we want to try to do, here's some steps that you could do. First thing is we want to do the GCF. We want to find the greatest common factor. All right, so I'm going to look for the greatest common factor. All right, so I'm going to look, do I have anything in common here? If I don't, then I just look at the factors. All right, so I'm trying to find the factors. All right, so I got to think, what number times itself gives me 9? Oh, sorry, you can't see it. What number times itself gives me 9? Well, that's 3. So this is a 3 and a 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. And there's x squared. When it's an x squared or any something square, you're going to put the letters in here. Now remember, because there's no middle term, you're going to have 1 a minus and 1 a plus. And then what times what is 1? 1. There's my answer. All right, so let's try another one. Sorry. All right, so here we go. I don't have a middle term. I'm trying to find factors. Factors means two things multiplied together to give me this. No middle term, so that means they're going to be the exact same thing. One will be a minus, one will be a plus, and it doesn't matter which one's minus or plus. So what times what is 36? That's 6 with a little k, because there's a k there. 6 here, because look, 6 times 6 is 36. 2 k's makes that. What times what gives me 1? 1. There's my answer. All right, so what happens if we have something like this? All right, so let's check. Do I have a GCF? Can I divide something out of both of these? Well, hopefully you would say 2, because they're both even numbers. So I can take a 2 out. When I do, that becomes x squared, and this becomes 9. All right, so now if you look, I have to break this down because this is a perfect square. There's no middle term. So we're going to have a minus, we're going to have a plus. X times x is x. And what times what gives me 9? It's 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. So this whole thing will be my factors. All right, let's do one more. Okay, so if you look at this right here, I'm going to look to see if I have any GCF. If I have a GCF here, I need to find what I can divide out of both of them. Okay, so look to see what I can divide out of both of them. If you knew this is a 5, and the only thing that can multiply to 5 is 5 times 1. So I'm going to divide 5 into both of these. So if I take 5, now I would take a calculator and say 180 divided by 5. That's 36m squared minus 1. All right, now you can see no middle term. So I'm going to write it in 2 parentheses. 6m plus 1 minus 1. And that right there is my answer.